Absolutely. President Mahama has already said we'll decongest Accra and create a new city out of Accra. And so some of these agencies that will working 24 hours will be in that new corridor where all of them will be fixed in a 24-hour gear.
I like that you said something, and I really just want us to move on. That if the president decides that, for the DVLA, for example, the president says that work 24 hours and that's it.
That's right.
So Bawumia, for example, Dr. Bawumia, for example, says that he thinks that driver's license, 2 years to 5 years validity is not enough. He thinks that it should be extended to about 10 years.
What problem does that solve? Tell me. I want to know.
Are you asking me?
I'm listening. I'm listening. I want to know what problem.
I'm not Dr. Bawumia.
I've already told you. I've already told you that when we want to even discuss issues about people, please let us look out for policies that solve.
Let's listen to what he said.
Play what he said.
And see if he gave reasons as to why he thinks it should be done.
Play
just quickly, take a listen.
Drivers for your drivers, and your driver's licenses no. Every 2 years we are not expire. And yes, sir, this is also DVLA eco renew. I think they say yes, extended 8 years, 10 years. Let's make sure you can have the driver's license without having to go to renew it every year. It doesn't make sense.
So that was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer of the NPP and also the vice president of the country. He addressed chiefs and other stakeholders at the Buedua in the Akwatia constituency of the Eastern region. He says that really the stress of having to renew your license every 2 years doesn't hold. And so he thinks that it should be extended to 8 to 10 years. Why are you holding your head?
That's Bawumia's policy.
One of his many policies.
I wish he were in the studio. I would have asked him what problem is ours.
The stress of going
There's a reason
renew.
why they ask us to come and renew our license. Because your eyes, for example, is an integral part of your driving ability. And every now and then we have eye challenges. There are people who go to renew their licenses, and that is where they realize that they have eye challenges. Because most of us do not even go to the hospital to check our eyes. But when you go there and you cannot see, they will then diagnose you and tell you, go and check your eyes. That's because you came to renew your license. So there are various reasons why they ask us to come and renew our licenses. In other words, if you choose to make it 10 years or 12 years or 20 years, I just want to know what problem is solved for the Ghanaian driver. The driver cannot buy fuel. He says, help me buy fuel so that I drive and get something to chop. You say the solution is go and renew your license 10 years. The driver says, my shock absorbers are getting spoiled. Anytime I go to buy new shocks, I cannot buy because there are taxes on the import of shocks and it's crippling my business. You say the solution is go and increase your driver's license. The driver says, the economy is hard to the extent that my little money cannot even buy milk and breakfast for my family members. Bawumia says the solution is go and increase your license within 8 years. Allah baraka. Construction of roads. Drivers say they have challenges traveling. There are rough roads all over the place. President Mahama says I'll complete abandoned projects. Alan is saying this. Chada is saying that. Dr. Bawumia says no. The solution is go and renew your driver's license 8 years. Please, respectfully. I think that we are at a point in this country where we need solutions to the problems we have. I've listened to some drivers and driver unions. They are lambasting him. In other words, a lot of the driver unions are even saying that before you even believe a message, even if they had a desire of believing Bawumia, but if a man greets you good, this man greets you good morning, look at the sky before you respond. He's a man known to say one thing and do another. The GPRT themselves have said that Bawumia has come to them to promise them heavens on earth. And none of those promises have been materialized.
Not a single one.
Not a single. Bawumia came and promised them that gold for oil was going to reduce fuel prices for them so they could buy. They said today.
Did it not to some extent?
Which extent?
At the beginning of the policy?
Which beginning of which policy? Today we are buying fuel at a gallon of almost 80 Ghana cedis. You say gold for oil. They squandered money with the gold for oil deal and made chop out of it. So the drivers are saying that this man is just one man who thinks that we are kids. So when he meets us, he lies through his teeth like there's no tomorrow. And he says things as if they will not break for people to even expose his lies. And the people say that, look, they have heard some of these mockeries. If you have any plans for them, you are in power today. Do it for us today.
Okay.
The things you promised us, you've not accomplished. You've not done a single thing. And just because you are before us and we are smiling and looking at you, you think we are at peace with you. So you can tell us what you want to hear.
Well,
look, Bella, this platform is a serious platform. TV3 Ghana is a serious media house. From morning till this time, where there's almost confusion, we have been discussing pragmatic policies, prudent management of the economy, and serious-minded people who want to lead this country. Let us go on that tangent. And leave
these are policies that are also being pushed by the, your opponents. So we should touch on it to see what you also think about. Let me bring Solomon in.
We are very hot in this country, and we need policies that
Let me bring Solomon in.
Characters like Alhaji Bawumia.
We're talking about game changers in our economy. Could this be one of them?
I find it difficult discussing political parties that do not have manifesto, because you remember somewhere last 2 months or so, he went to the Bono area, promised the church that he was going to pay pastors. It took no less than 24 hours for him to take back that promise. So maybe this could also be another promise that will take it back. So let's wait a while. And that is why.
But he made this promise 2 days ago or so.
So you never know when you would come and take it.
If he was going to take it back, I'm sure he would have done it by now.
Maybe he's still consulting. Because the point is that he himself has been preaching digitalization. You understand? So the idea of renewal every 2 years, you can reduce it through your digitalization, what's called transformation. It is important that because of the reasons I cited, your eye, whether or not you have even committed crime within the period, so that every 2 years renewal will not be a problem. And I was even thinking that as a way of policy, we have been told that Ghana card, passport number, license, and so on and so forth, were all being integrated into the Ghana card. So the Ghana card, once you have it, I think it's every 10 years that you have to renew. So by way of policy, it already aligns with what the Ghana card seeks to do. And so this will not be a new thing. But in terms of our priorities, I'm sure the essence of this promise is to the commercial drivers. Now, if you ask any commercial driver, what is your major challenge in terms of scale of priorities? I'm sure this will likely come in the middle or the last. They are having to pay more taxes on fuel, about 7 taxes. Energy fund, sanitation and pollution, stabilization, and so on and so forth. What is the government doing about it to reduce it so that they can be in business? They pay a lot of tolls, fees at the various lorry stations. They are harassed daily on the roads by policemen. They are having to pay huge sums of money for insurance companies. High cost of parts at Abosoka and other areas because of the charges at the port. These are the real reasons. In fact, it is one of the reasons for Alan to deal with the problems of the driver. He said within the first 2 years of his administration, he will abolish all duties on spare parts.
Okay.
It was directly to deal with their challenges. I'm not too sure this comes in as a topmost priority when it comes to commercial drivers. So he must, but like I said, I would wait patiently
for their
manifesto to know where exactly this one fits and what comprehensive research they did to know that this is a priority to commercial drivers.
But since you touched on, abolishing duties on spare parts, I want to understand that. So that means that when they bring in the spare parts, they don't pay...
No, they're not going to pay anything. No.
Nothing?
No. Because you see, if you have been following the road safety carefully, their reports, most of the accidents we have on our roads are as a result of people not being able to replace their parts. So you are having to charge more high duty at the port, and that duty is killing your people on the road. Professionals that you have trained with huge sums of money are dying on your roads. So why wouldn't you save them?
Okay.
And this one, we have given you timelines that within 2 years, it has to be off. And that is why he is promising that Ghana will be the lowest tax country in the sub-region when he's given the opportunity to be the president. So if you are going to weigh this removal of port duties vis-a-vis extending the validity of driver's license, then which of these candidates are you going to settle?
So these tax exemptions and, reducing tax here, we're going to abort this and that. I don't know if you've seen that World Bank report where it says that too many of these exemptions are impacting negatively on our tax revenue.
Yes.
And that also is a problem.
Yes, it's a problem.
So we seem to be promising a lot. So we'll cut this tax, we'll not pay this tax, etc.
Yes, because
does that not affect us?
No, the higher taxes you pay, the lower your economy grows. These advanced countries that you see, how much do they pay as taxes? Yeah. You must free the businessman to be able to expand. Once you are expanding, you are taking your payee from the employees. You are getting your corporate tax. You see, indirectly, every business owns about 25% shares in a company once it is established. You know why? Because at the end of the year, you are supposed to pay a 25% corporate tax. You understand? So it is in the interest of government that businesses thrive, so that you can get your 25% corporate tax or whatever any government imposes. And why must you impose high taxes so that all these businesses are out of business, so that you don't get your tax revenue?
So for example, World Bank says that. So part of the reason for the low, economic productivity is also because there are more than 24 different types of tax breaks for companies. So according to their 8th Ghana economic update, these tax breaks cost Ghana around 0.5% of its GDP in lost revenue each year. So by reducing or eliminating some of these tax breaks, Ghana could improve its tax system and collect more revenue from corporate taxes.
No, but the point is that this one is directing
to just the exemptions.
Exemption to the multinationals.
Okay.
You see, recently government took to Parliament exemption of taxes to companies. Go and check the number of companies that are Ghanaian owned. All the exemptions are going to foreign-owned companies. And that is why I always find it difficult when people are talking about GDP. Why is it that we don't talk about the GNP, the gross national product? The gross national product would rather expose the contribution of Ghanaians to the national economy. What is our contribution? All the GDP reports are businesses being done by foreigners in this country.
All right.
And which we must, as from the point of view of national security perspective, not encourage.
Okay.
So it's good to help the people of Abusokai, help the people of Magazine, and all the other areas, those that are dealing in spare parts.
Okay.
Our position on the spare parts is a fixed rate at the port. We think that the businessman must have an anticipation of the rate he's going to import his goods and the rate at which he's going to go back to the market to buy his goods. And so we intend having a fixed rate there. So aside the women's bank, that's for women, the free tertiary education for year ones, that's going to see all year ones not pay school fees, and all the other fruitful policies like the Money Yo, where we are going to have a retirement package for all these workers who work in the informal sector. We are going to ensure that the businesses thrive on the fixed rate at the port, and then the subsidies are going to be to the businesses that would enroll on the 24-hour economy to work at full time, and we have a 24 economic Ghana.
Thank you.
Working, and Ghana will be alive 24 hours.
Thank you, Malik. So Simba Madrista says that, good morning, I'm watching you live in Makola. JDM will lose this year's election. Money, good morning. He says that we do not believe Alan because he could not even plant sugarcane to get the Commander Sugar Factory running. In fact, we have a response to this Commander Sugar Factory issue. Yesterday, I posed the question to Honorable Alan Kojo-Chemate. At the right time, I'm sure we'll discuss it, because he also said that he asked Iyoko to investigate the matter concerning how much money was used to refurbish the Commander Sugar Factory. And so even though we're told that there was some $32 to $35 million that was invested in refurbishing, they discovered that it was just about $16 million that was invested. And so what happens to the rest of the money? And he thinks that the NDC should be answering these questions, because they were involved in quote, a fraudulent deal, more like. Maybe later we will discuss that. But because you constantly ask about this. You
cut your question and the answer provided by Anna, because I see a lot of people posting on your wall and saying that you could not plant sugarcane. The truth of the matter is that Alan did not have anything to do with the Commander Sugar Factory.
Okay.
When he came to office, it was already there struggling.
All right.
And that has to be stated.
No. It wasn't struggling. No.
No, it was not in operation.
Well,
it was not operating.
No.
It was not operating.
So it wasn't struggling.
It was struggling.
It was struggling.
And then they are now arguing.
It was struggling.
At the right time we'll discuss.
Iyoko and government.
At the right time we'll discuss. But if there's time, maybe later we'll play that question and answer, so that you can also get informed on the decision. But, well, good morning to all of you, and thank you for sending in your messages as well. People say you don't want to discuss. discuss it now.
It's okay. We'll come back to it later.
No,
Maybe later.
We'll
We
come back to
will.
it.
I wanted to discuss
Next
it
week.
today.
Next
Next
week,
week, I hear
We
you.
have to come back to
Solomon
this one.
Owusu is a senior communicator for Movements for Change, and Malik Basantale, NDC Deputy National Communications Officer. And thank you again to Dr. Sapong, I believe that's his name. We spoke to him earlier on phone. Sorry, Dr. Samuel Efriye, political and economics analyst from Kumasi Technical University. Remember to play cash out *439# and select option 2. You can win 1,000 Ghana cedis this morning before the show ends. 3 of you will get 1,000 Ghana cedis. So don't slack. Play as many times as you can. Now let me tell you about Dewa. Step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big with Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Direct, dial *446#, pick 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times, or 400 times your stake. And win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa Chop Money. And so at 10 a.m., dial *446#, choose 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times, or 400 times your stake. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial *446#. If you need help, you can call them on 055-6259-249 or 053-2479-879. Dewa Afa. We'll be back with more, and this morning, Community Manifesto will be coming your way from Ningo Pram Pram. So Nashoko is there at the moment, and very shortly, we will cross over. Keep watching.